Good evening. I just love saying that. It's actually like 3:30 in the morning and I can't sleep, so I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to make a video. So I thought tonight I'm going to tell you guys about this dog I used to have years ago. And I'm talking, gosh, forever ago. Okay? Like probably 30 years ago, or even more than that. Let's see, my son's 33 and I was pregnant with him, so like basically 34 years ago. Of course, now I'm going to do like a disclaimer here, okay? I am going to swear a lot in this video. It's a lot to swear about, okay? Trust me. And I'm going to probably say some things about how I took care of the dog that some people are not going to agree with. But back then, you know, it just was what it was, right? It just is what it is. Let's put it like that, okay? Okay, so my now ex-husband, my husband at the time, went to over to some guy's house. I don't know. And back in those days, you know, pit bulls were a lot of people used them, you know, because they were mean, like, right? Because they wanted to make him mean. So he went over to this dude's house, and dude had this dog named Jughead Pitts. Is that the craziest name ever? Jughead Pitts. Okay, so anyway, this guy was really abusing this dog in a bad way, and like my ex-husband, he just couldn't stand it. So he told the dude, you know, can I buy this dog from you? And dude was like, yeah, that'd be great, you know. So he brought the dog home and showed me. And I swear, I just wanted to cry. This dog was in such bad shape, okay? The guy messed with his mind. He messed with him physically. Like, I don't even know what all, but the state that he was in when I got him was that his body was stunted. His head was too big for his body. And his hair felt like a wire brush, like a fucking wire brush. It was so hard and pokey, and every single one of his freaking toenails was split right up the middle, you know, split the nail right in half and cracked all the way down. Freaking every one of them, too long and cracked and bleeding. And I was just like, why? Why does someone do that to a freaking dog? I love dogs, man. I'm a dog person big time, okay? Okay, so we get Jug. Okay. Oh, Jug was a character. Okay, so first of all, I knew I was really pregnant too, like 8 months pregnant. Close to somewhere right in there. And I knew we had to get those toenails off because, you know, that just had to be, you know, painful, right? I mean, you'd think it would be painful. So I wanted to get them off. So, you know, of course, Jughead, he didn't want us to get his toenails, right? So what we ended up doing was my husband literally had to sit on him on the couch, literally sit on him and hold him down, hold his head so he wouldn't freaking bite me. And then I sat on the floor right next to him and I cut his nails. And we were gonna do like, well, let's do the front ones and then we'll, you know, in a couple days we'll do the back ones. Well, it was such a traumatic thing for him. I said, screw it, we're doing it all now, all of it, you know. So he just held on to him and I cut all of his nails off. And oh God, And then, I got up and like went in the other room because I knew he was going to be pissed off. And of course he was. My husband like literally jumped off the couch, jumped across the room, and Jug, I was watching from around the corner. I was a little scared, okay. So Jug hits the floor. Rah! I'm going to tear someone's leg off. Oh, hey, my toenails feel better. So he sits down, he starts licking his feet. I'm like, you're such a shit ass. So one of the things this guy would do to him was he would feed him, and then when Jug would go to eat the food, the guy would beat him. And, I never could understand, apparently he was wanting to make him mean or something. Well, Jughead was not a mean dog. Jughead was not that kind of dog. He was a pit bull, but he wasn't a mean pit bull. He wasn't like, I want to rip your leg off or whatever. It wasn't Jughead, right? It just wasn't. And this guy just fucked him up with the shit. I can't even tell you. So, I literally had to hand feed this dog for days. Well, no, longer than days. I don't know, probably weeks, 2 or 3 weeks maybe. I had to hand feed this dog because he would not go anywhere near a dog dish because he thought someone was going to beat him. Can't blame the dog, really. So I would sit there and I would get a couple pieces of food in my hand, and Jughead would come up to me, sneak up to me real careful, and he'd get the food out of my hand, and then he'd run in the kitchen and eat it, run in the other room and eat it, and then he'd peek around the corner at me, and I'd say, it's okay, come get some more, and I put it in my hand, and it took a while, I don't even know. It took a while before he would actually eat out of the dish. And then when he did eat out of the dish, you had to be sure that you didn't sneak up on him. Because if you snuck up on him, holy shit, he's going to rip your leg off, okay? That was just Jughead, because, that guy. Okay, so, I chose to just treat him like a regular dog, and not say, oh, I feel so sorry for him, blah, blah, blah. Let's just get him better. One of the things that really freaked me out, actually kind of freaked me out, was when he first started eating. And bear in mind, 30 plus years ago, they didn't have the dog foods they have today either. So we just got like Purina or whatever. And when he would eat, and then when he would poop, he literally would poop sawdust. Like his body was literally taking every single solitary thing out of that food that he could get, like that poor dog. And so then when he finally started gaining weight and getting all, dog-like, then it turns out that he's freaking double muscled, which means he walked like a pig, couldn't bend his knees, walked like a pig. He hopped instead of running. He hopped. He was the craziest looking little dog. Somewhere I have a picture of him, but I don't know where it is. So I can't find it. I only have one picture of this dog. But anyways, we got these 2 little puppies. We got another pit bull puppy, and we got a little blue heeler mixed puppy, and we then moved to Oregon. So I know this is actually not funny, but it's kind of funny, okay? Jug would get out of the yard all the time, and then he would run down to the neighbors and chase their sheep around. And then the neighbor would come outside with his shotgun, boom, shoot at him. Well, then I'd hear that, obviously. It scared the crap out of me. So I would jump out of bed in the middle of the night, run a quarter mile down my driveway, and be screaming for my dog. And he would finally come running, and he was so funny. He loved my baby. When my baby was born, he loved my baby so much. He just laid next to him on the floor all the time. And just, oh God, he was just, and we call him Juggly Muggly. We go, hey, Juggly Muggly. And he'd be all, you know how pit bulls smile? Oh my God, he was the funniest freaking dog. So, okay. So this is Jughead. Okay, now we're living in Portland. And I've got to come up to Spokane. I live in Spokane, Washington. So we were living then in Coos Bay, Oregon. That's about a 12, 14-hour drive, you know. It's quite a ways. So I came up to Spokane to see my family and whatnot, and my husband had me bring Jughead with me for protection, right? So, because, you know, that I wouldn't even have needed a gun with that dog. I swear. Oh, I got a loaded Jughead, and I know how to use it, okay? So I spent a few days in Spokane visiting my family, had a really good time and everything, and then I get ready to go back home. So I drive to Ritzville, and there's like a Denny's restaurant right off the freeway in Ritzville, and my older son, he was like 5 then, he was really hungry, and so was I really, so I thought, well, if I fill them full of food, then maybe they'll sleep, you know, for quite a bit of this drive, right? So we go in and we spend like an hour in this Denny's, okay? We're eating like, you know, chocolate chip pancakes and like, oh my gosh, just everything, okay? We just like pigged out at frickin' Denny's. So Jughead's in the car waiting for us. And we go out to the car, and I swear, Jughead's ass exploded all over the inside of my fucking car. There was shit on everything. There was shit all over the back of the front seat. All over the back of it, like from one side to the other. There was shit on the floor. There was shit on the pillows. There was shit on the clothes. There was shit on everything in the fucking car. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna die. I just stood there looking at it like, and Jughead's all like, you know, thinking I'm gonna kill him. Well, okay, I wanted to. Trust me, I wanted to. But when a dog's asshole explodes like that, something's up. You changed their food or they got into something or something, right? Because, I mean, it was just like diarrhea freaking everywhere. So, I'm just standing there looking at this like, holy shit, you know. I fed the baby and he's asleep, right? And he's just in his little, his little car seat. Thank God I took that in there with me. And I had opened the door and pulled the seat forward and set his little car seat in the back seat before I realized there was shit everywhere. So then there was shit on his car seat. Oh my God, I was dying. I was just dying, right? I had no idea how to deal with this. None. This is not something that just happens to people, right? I mean, a lot of dogs have taken a shit in someone's car, but their asshole hasn't exploded all over the fucking place, okay? So I'm like, holy crap, you know? What am I gonna do, right? So I go in and I ask the hostess lady at Denny's if I can have some wet paper towels and a garbage bag, because I was just gonna like put everything that had shit on it in the garbage bag and close it and then take it home and deal with it there, right? Well, I didn't even get to that point because I ended up throwing a bunch of stuff away because there was so much shit on it that, oh my God. So she comes back and she gives me like 3, no, maybe 5 wet paper towels. And I'm thinking, lady, my dog's asshole just exploded all over my car, and you give me 5 fucking paper towels. So I say, hun, I'm going to need more than that. And she goes, well, I'm going to have to get my manager. So she goes and gets the manager, and I tell him, look here. My dog's asshole exploded all over my car. I'm on my way home to Oregon. I have nothing with me that I can clean this up. Can you please help me out with like a whole roll of wet paper towels and a couple garbage bags? And he's like, sure. So he gives me all this stuff. So I go back out there and I'm just like, holy shit, So I got Jughead. I put him on his leash and I like tied him to my door. And every once in a while I went over there and I'd like yell at him, God damn you, because I was stressed out, right? And then I turn around and look, and all of the fucking people in the Denny's are looking out their windows at me, screaming at my dog. It was like the worst day ever, okay? So, now, it's like a whole clusterfuck of just... Okay, so, my car had an exhaust leak. So, when you were riding around in it, you had to leave the windows up. If you rolled the windows down, it sucked exhaust into the back seat. Well, my kids were in the back seat. So I didn't want to, kill them with carbon monoxide, right? So I had to leave the windows up. So all I could smell was shit, right? So I went to a gas station and I got this weird liquid air freshener thing. And I took the cotton ball out of the out of the end of it, and I just literally poured it into my defroster, across my dash. I just literally poured it in there and then turned the fan on. So it was blowing jasmine smell, well, sort of like shit jasmine smell at me. Another thing I did that trip because of what happened with all this, I stopped somewhere and checked my oil, and I freaking didn't put my oil cap back on, and drove all through a whole bunch of Mount St. Helens ash, and ended up, in the long run, years later, ruining my motor. Yeah, it was a great day. Okay, so, I drive for 12 hours. And, well, it wasn't like high summer hot, but it was warm out. I really would have liked to have had the windows down. I didn't have air conditioning. It was what was I driving? 69 Dodge Dart. Okay? So, I drive for 12 more hours in a car that smells like shitty jasmine. Okay? All the way home. Pissed off, stressed out, not a happy camper, okay? I finally get there, and I just grabbed the kids and my purse and the dog and nothing else and got the fuck out the car. I went in, I told my husband, man, Jughead shit in the car. It's so bad, and I had nothing to clean it up with. I need you to clean it up. Because he's like one of those people with an iron stomach. Like nothing, literally nothing makes him puke. So, it was, evening time, of course, by the time I got there. So he goes, well, I'll look at it tomorrow. Okay, I'll clean it out tomorrow. So, by the time that he went out there the next day, the car had been sitting in the sun for a while. You can just imagine, right? So he opens up the door, and literally, like, this wave of shitty jasmine smell hits him in the face, right? And he just turned around and bleh, started puking. It was like one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in my entire life. Hey, thank you, Jughead Pitts. So, he actually was a great dog. When we moved back to Washington, we ended up giving him to a guy that we knew down there because Jughead didn't like any other dogs, except for our little puppies for some reason. But he liked this guy's dog that we met. He had like a Great Dane. It was a Great Dane Black Lab cross. So it was crazy looking. It looked like a black lab, but it was like the size of a Great Dane. It was just crazy. So, anyways, Jughead really liked that dude's dog. He liked him a lot. And we were coming back to Spokane. We had to stay with my ex's mom for a minute. And she had, a whole herd of little yapper dogs, little chihuahuas and whatnot. Well, I'm telling you right now, Jug would have ate every single one of them, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they'd been gone. Okay, that fast. He killed stuff. He had things wrong in his head. Okay. So we left him down there when we came back to Washington. But I know he had a good home, and he had a buddy finally. He had a dog that he could play with and stuff and be, way more happy. I know he was happy with me. So he really took to me. He was my dog way more than my ex's. So, anyways, that's my shitty story of my dog, Jughead Pitts. I just thought, it's another one of those, I don't know, funny / maybe interesting stories that happened in my life that I need to tell. I need to put all these things out there in the world. And after I'm gone, see, I think this is kind of cool because after I'm gone, when I leave this world, then my kids are still going to be able to watch my videos and hopefully want to see my face, right? So, anyways, okay, there it is, Jughead Pitts. Somebody name your dog that because it's just freaking awesome. Call him Juggly Muggly because they love it. All right then, have a good evening. I'll talk to you guys soon.